Welcome to Next Frontier Estate Planning. In this video, I'm going to be discussing what is a will and why is it important that you have one. So most people have some level of familiarity, probably heard of a will. This is a document that you set up that's going to determine who receives your assets after you pass away. And there are a few very important provisions that are going to be included in your will that are important for you to address so that the court doesn't have to address them for you. So the first thing you'll want to think about is who are your heirs going to be? Who do you want to receive your assets after you pass away? A lot of wills will have specific gifts where you are outlining certain things that you want to pass to certain individuals. And this can be something like jewelry or artwork or anything that's important for you that you have somebody specific in mind that you want to make sure receives that after you pass away. You'll also have a residuary clause in your will. This is going to set out who's going to receive all of your assets after any specific gifts are already spoken for in your will. A very important provision to include in your will, if you have minor kids, is who will be the guardian of your kids if you pass away before they turn 18. If you don't have a guardianship provision set up in your will, then the court will determine who's the best guardian for your kids after you pass away. And that can be a very costly, conflict-heavy process if you don't set that up and specify who it is you want to raise your kids if you're not able to do it yourself. You'll also be choosing an executor. This can also be called a personal representative. This is the person who's going to administer your estate through probate. After you pass away, they'll be responsible for paying off any debts that you have and making sure that your assets are distributed according to your wishes. Now, why is it important that you have a will set up? Well, if you don't have a will in place, then you're going to pass away intestate, which means you don't have a will. And if you don't have a will, then the state is going to decide how your assets are distributed after you pass away. This is a process called intestate succession. And essentially, there's a statute in every state that's going to clarify who receives your assets if you pass away without a will. Most of my clients would much rather decide for themselves who's going to receive their assets after they pass away rather than to let the state or the government decide how those assets should be distributed after they pass away. So a will is something that you probably heard of, that you know that's important, that you have set up. But it's not something most people are really excited about doing. So if you need help setting up a will or want to have a conversation around what that process looks like, feel free to go to my website. The link is below. Reach out and I'd be more than happy to help get that set up.